A real day in the life of a bank software developer. Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Chris Athanas. I'm a KMP developer. Tech Support said they're for sure coming out on Tuesday to close that up. They said they promised this time. They said they would. They opened a new ticket and everything. Today we're going to be getting into. I'm going to be reacting to what a big software projects actually look like. This is a bank developer from Canada, and let's just get started. Oh wait, let's get started over. Here we go. Not that. This one.
Guys, welcome back to another video. Today I thought I would just share basically my experience as a full stack software developer at working at a big bank. So I was working at one of the biggest banks in Canada, which is called Desjardins, which is
Desjardins. Okay, I want to make fun of French Canadian people a little bit because I actually married a French Canadian, and I speak a little bit of French, and I'm half Canadian myself. So if I go in a little bit, it's because I love these people. But I'm also kind of disgusted by some of the things that they're into, so let's keep going.
In French, and basically I was a software developer there in their venture capital division. So I'm gonna show you like what's behind what
these guys. Obviously, this kid's pretty smart. He knows he definitely got some A's in school on his coding skills. I'll give him that. I will give him that.
What's happening, how our code writing goes, what is our full flow, what kind of persons were in your team. So let's just get started, and I think this could be interesting to you. First off, in my team we were about 9 person plus me, so basically we were about 6 devs in total.
Woo! Okay, I'm doing this in the context of adventure-driven development, and you should never have maximum of 7 members on your team. Max. Where is it? Right here. Because of this thing. Because of Metcalfe's law. I just think everything slows down to a complete grind. The more people you have that have information that can keep the process going, these are all points of failure and points of communication. So they all have to be. Everyone has to be talked to. So that's brutal, dude. Okay. So I'm starting to get a little bit of flashbacks. Little flashbacks on the Agile Scrum Master. I'm starting to get a little twitchy about it. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going.
So basically people who are just writing code all day. After that we had a database admin. So this is someone who's just...
But are they writing code all day, sir? Or are they reading emails and meetings and talking about stuff? And what did we do last weekend? And what kind of bacon are we gonna have? What kind of flannel colors are there in this season?
His only task is to make sure the database goes well, do migrations against the database, so basically make sure all data is stored correctly. And there was no way of like seeing real clients' data, which is
no way to see the real data. Wow, boy, they really do not trust these guys at all, like zero. And the fact they have a database administrator that has to do what developers should be doing, it's so complicated. Oh my god, this is great.
Like crucial when you're working in finance. And then after that we have...
By not seeing people's data, not being... You could obfuscate it and still see the real data, but the fact that, see, it's already off the rails.
Someone who was a Scrum Master. So the Scrum Master is basically the person that coordinates all the people together.
It's the kind of person that's working only available in a zero interest rate environment. They've been convinced by these agile coach clowns who say you gotta have a transformation to speed up your development teams. This is definitely not agile from the original conception of it. Now, what it became, yes, this is totally Scrum Masters, administrator, everything's sliced down to the production lines type level stuff. This is all the latest. This is all but everything's a production line, right? Right? Okay. All right. Yeah. So and the client, so you don't even have the devs talking to the people
in a small team. So our team was called the DC Superstars.
Oh, they got a special name. Ooh, we're comic book characters now. Yay! Okay, if you're a Zoomer, I guess it's super fun and it makes your day a little bit brighter that you think that you're in a comic book. But what you're trying to do, what you're really feeling around for is this. What they really want to do is this. They really want to do the adventure-driven stuff. Let me get my screen here. After you do your tutorials, your personal projects, after you do these nightmare situations, tar pits are seemingly good ideas. He's actually in a dungeon grind, burn down slog feature factory because he's working at he makes money. He's doing all right, and he's actually got customers, which is better than a lead mine, which doesn't have any customers. Or this fake agile stuff down here where they're at these lean companies. That means that we don't pay them very much. That's what lean means. It means you cut right to the quick, so nobody makes any money. Everybody's in survival mode and doing everything that is going to last 5 seconds. Okay, yeah, all right. And there's no equity, by the way. Oh hell no! You get 0.0000001% if we go public someday in the future. If we don't gut this company and sell to somebody else in the meantime, this stuff is so crazy. It's so insane. So he's still down here in this stuff, right? But what he really is, the fact that he to bring up the name that's a DC comic book means that he has when he started doing the computer stuff, he started getting into it. He's like, oh shit, I can make this thing do whatever the fuck I want. It's like, yes, you can. That's why if you're not careful, you will be slotted into a dev agency where you'll be taking on other people's dreams, other people's big goals of attacking the customer here, which is all the objections that the customer has, and finding the cave opening, the thing that you can handle with your skill set, or the skill set of just a few people they're key people that you may be lucky to find along the way that are on this mindset too, have heard about adventure driven, and are willing to do the risks it takes to abandon a silver reward, which is you're making money on this thing. This thing is a cash cow, and you're eating well, but you're not doing the adventure. You're on somebody else's adventure, right? It's somebody else's problem, somebody else's scheme, but you just have the technical skills to take care of it. That's where if he's not careful, he'll be 40 years old working in that same dungeon grind and doing very well for himself. If the fact that this way of the structuring software is about to go bye-bye is because this is totally unsustainable. And the corporations, the only reason it's going to stick around is because the corporations haven't clued in yet that knowledge work is not an industrial production line process, even if it's a bank. Because these banks, if this is what they're doing inside, they are totally ripe for absolute disruption by smaller players who have one or two developers, who talk right to the clients, who take tech support calls, who take the messages and the support calls, and then automate that stuff somehow. So we don't have people doing that stuff. They can go through a system, and that they really need to talk to a person, we can talk to someone at the end, of course. But like having this. Okay, I'll keep going.
So all the teams in my division, so in Desjardins Capital, was divided by DC group names. So we had like the DC Superstars, DC Marvels, different names.
All the comic books. Is that one got Superman in it? Do you have a Superman on your team? Does he fly? Does he deflect bullets, dude? His lasers come out of his eyes? Get the fuck out of here.
On the superhero team, if you want. So this was pretty fun. And like once a month we had...
Everything else about the job is complete eye-melting. Like, oh, I cannot deal with this crap. But I get a superhero name.
Meeting all the teams together to just talk about like what we did this month, like celebrate our small achievements and everything. So that's the Scrum Master, and then
absolutely, definitely celebrate every achievement, big, small, doesn't matter what it is. You know, we should be celebrating that stuff. We should be gaining experience points. That's why in adventure-driven development, instead of having these burn-down charts with what's your story points, we have challenge points. I don't know how to describe the name of it. I call them experience points right now. But it's a different thing where you gain the points. You don't throw them away. You don't burn them. What game do you burn points? Bridge maybe? I don't know. I've never played that game. But every other game is number go up. If I see number go up, Stack Overflow. The only thing I really liked about that place is you had your rep number right there. So you knew if somebody was serious or just bullshit. Right? It became real obvious. And the thing is, these experiences are just for the team to say, hey man, I slogged through that 500-point ticket. I gotta get some credit. And the other, I got a whole way out. I'm thinking about how these things should be distributed. It's not just the individual who gets the score. It's everyone involved as well. I mean, these are just suggestions, by the way. This is not prescriptive. Adventure-driven development is not prescriptive. It's descriptive. It's what I've seen happen. And people will take on tasks. If they are given the credit after they're done, they will take on the most arduous, crazy motherfucking task. And they'll be serious about it and they'll make sure it gets done. But they want credit for it. They want fucking credit, not burned away. Oh, now you get can we shave another point off your ticket next week because you did so well? Oh, you're a 16-pointer a week. That's not what we're doing points for. It's not really the time, though. Oh, no. Story points are never timed, but they always are. Come on.
After that, we have the client success manager, which is basically the person that is going to be the intermediate between the client and then our team. So.
Why? Why is he there? He better be doing something else. He better be doing in adventure driven. He wouldn't be just giving the client between the devs and the client. No, it wouldn't be just this guy. It wouldn't be this guy. It's just so cliche. It is so cliche.
What you do in Initech is you take the specifications from the customers, and you bring them down to the software engineers.
Yes, that's right.
Well, then I just have to ask, why couldn't the customers just take them directly to the software people, huh?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because engineers are not good at dealing with customers.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I mean, every single thing that we've come up with that everybody loves, Unix, video games, Apple One, Breakout, all this, everything that we take for granted in this tech thing was not created by a committee having a middle guy hand the thing to the developers. No, it was the developers right there in the pit. It's either we're gonna make this thing work or don't go. You don't hand it off. This stuff is so like, what is it? It's aristocracy meets bureaucracy meets trying to split something up that just innately is not going to be split up and eventually will fall over. And you're just trying to keep it tapped together. And the fact that you had to bring in the efficiency experts to ask the question to this guy, like, what do you do here?
You physically take the specs from the customer?
Well, no, my secretary does that, or the fax.
Or the facts.
Then you must physically bring them to the software people.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills.
He's got people skills.
I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that?
Can't you understand that? He's good with dealing with people.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
So the good thing about this is this little scene for that character, right? He went and did a whole startup on his own. Remember the jump to success? It became a success, and it was just a crazy off the wall idea that made no sense. And that if somebody were to tell you what they're doing, it's like, I don't think so. And then all of a sudden it blows up and becomes a thing. Yeah, that's the adventure-driven stuff I'm talking about, man. And these banks are super safe jobs, but they're also soul-crushing. And if you have a soul and you're sensitive to that shit, you got to find a way out, man. I'm not saying get rid of it all. I'm not saying you go directly there. You can't just go directly up to here, but you can think around. You can find a little monster. You can find a little guy, right? Attack him, get the golden, and then move up. And see the arrow? It keeps going. So that's where I'm coming from on that.
Basically, developers are expected to code, right, and to produce code. But if they're distracted with talking to the client at the same time, it's like a level of time loss that is too high for in a big company.
Oh, really? No, I think it's something else. I think it might be this person.
Maybe in smaller companies,
You have a job, and he's convinced his buddies that run the thing that he's the guy that has to be there. Because you don't need that stuff. But let's keep going.
like it would be okay if the developer talks directly, which like if you're building small apps and everything, that's all right.
Nope, even big stuff too. If you're talking directly to the people, you're going to get a whole bunch of insights that you wouldn't normally get. Now, maybe don't talk to them all the time, but they should be required to be in the meetings. The devs should be required to be in one of these meetings, and maybe driving them or having a phone line to directly to one that we can show this stuff and ask questions. Don't have to go through an intermediary. That's political. We don't do that around here. We got them intermediaries. Look at all these people.
But when you're in the big business type of day, you don't have time to talk to those people because usually clients don't have technical knowledge. So
it's even better. And the devs, they do have the technology. And I can guarantee you this client success, Scrum Master, database, they're not deep in the tech like this guy is. They don't even know what's possible. See, he assumes that they already know everything that he knows. And because they're older and they've been around, blah, blah, they don't know shit. They should be talking directly. It's like you can come up with like, we have 16 ways to do this. We don't have to do it this way. I know you got $2 million in the source code or $50 million in the source code. We've worked on it for 15 years. But we're supposed to throw that stuff away every once in a while and start over. And if you don't understand that, like then these things are going to be open. These things are so open and ripe for disruption. It's insane.
they expect you to explain it to them. So the client success person,
why not? Why you gotta explain it to them? By explaining it, you also learn it better, and you learn where they're coming from and what their needs are, how they think about things. And God damn it, if you're ever gonna go adventure driven, kid, that stuff, that information is invaluable.
Has a bit of technical knowledge usually, so like he's able to, or she's able to talk to the client about the upcoming features and everything. So he's basically like a middleman between the team and the client. And for ourselves, the client was basically like the financial division of Desjardins Capital, and we were like the programming team that was delivering to our another internal team of more like finance people.
Then you should be talking to them directly. What the hell, people? It's an internal tool on an internal team. Why are you talking to people directly? I know why. I just shut the clip. Roll the clip.
And finally, you have the tech lead. No, I'm not talking about tech lead from YouTube, but you have the but
he's become the label of himself. Oh, what a clusterfuck that guy is.
You had the tech lead. So the tech lead is basically the one coordinating all the devs. So it's basically a senior engineer most of the time who has a lot of industry knowledge and usually is very good like in their language or their structure.
If they're not pulling tickets, they ain't on the team. If they're not pulling tickets, they're not on the team. I'm sorry. You got to pull tickets. If you're going to be a tech lead, you got to be down in the shit. You got to be down in the shit with everybody else, pulling tickets. If you're not, what are you, dude? You're just grifting, which is fine. I get it. I get the grift at the bank. You can sit back and relax. We got 65 meetings this week. We're going to do 3 lines of code. The client, the customer, who's that? Are they actually paying for this thing? No. There's another part of the business that needs to be generating noise to have some sort of semblance of value and thinking that it's necessary to do all this shit. Really? It's not necessary. I swear to God it's not necessary.
And basically helps.
And the reason why I know it's not necessary is because it was done at one time without all this shit. So yes, it is possible to do it without so many people, but not in the zero interest rate environment. This is all has to be expensed out somehow. This is a power fiefdom structure. These are also political appointees, right? These are political appointees. This is a patronage network that we're dealing with here as well. If people are into that, it's aristocracy, Game of Thrones bullshit, and totally ripe for disruption.
All the devs to basically, if they have bugs or everything, they communicate with the tech lead to get insights on that. And basically, the Scrum Master is gonna talk to the tech lead so that the tech lead can talk to the devs, so that you have another layer of abstraction between communication.
Are you serious? This is how you're running the shit? Oh my God! And the thing is, I know it's true because I get flashbacks. I'm getting the flashbacks. How many sprints you do this week? How many points is that ticket? How many story points is that? Can you shave a couple points off? Is that a Fibonacci sequence?
So and the average day was like pretty standard. So at 8 a.m. we would start read emails, start coding, reply to team messages, basically. Then at 10 a.m. daily we would have what is called a Scrum meeting. So a Scrum meeting is basically a meeting where you just talk about what you're going to do today. So what will be your main tasks? Do you have any blockings from the previous day? So if you were working on a feature and it didn't...
This can be done in a Slack message. A meeting that can be done in a Slack message, but we don't get the Scrum Master. He doesn't get the name Master. He doesn't get a page of the meetings. Are you on track for your meetings?
Compile or something. You're just bringing it up right there so that your tech lead knows it and everyone else knows it, so you can do pair programming if you have any difficulties. And that's pretty much what a Scrum meeting is. So at the company I work...
That, again... That shit, that stand-up meeting shit, was for another time and age in a different land, far, far away.
We're doing agile. So agile is basically.
Oh, they're doing agile! Holy shit, they're doing agile! They got a Scrum Master. They're doing agile. We got agile down in the fields over here, in the rice paddies. Charlie's coming out. He's got an agile Scrum sprint ready to go. Fucking hell.
A software development technique that basically prioritize like tasks. So we had Jira, which is a task manager.
A to-do list? Oh, you don't say. Are you saying you've got a to-do list that has priorities in it? And it's called Jira, which stands for Godzilla. I bet he knows that too. It stands for, it's the Japanese way of saying it. Ooh, it's a Japanese way? Oh, I heard Scrum is also Japanese for Toyota, for Japanese people, and a Japanese culture, and a Japanese car company, and a Japanese corporation, with Japanese benefits, with Japanese, you're drinking after work till 3 a.m. Japanese style. This is silly.
management system where we had like tasks to be done, then currently coding, then we had done. So
Oh, it's a to-do list that shows you that you haven't done it yet, you're doing it, and then you've done it? Whoa. You better have a real fancy, you better have the most fancy, industry standard, best practices to-do list you ever damn did see. And that's Jira. It's got all buttons and dials and widgets and checkboxes. Ooh, and all you're doing is, I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. I did it. Ooh.
that basically we could track like how many tasks can we close,
absolutely ridiculous.
and everything. And all those tasks were basically like noted on a point system. Which
point system.
We determine the point value of each task by doing something called Scrum Poker, which
you play poker. I was like, the first time I heard about poker, I got so excited. I was like, oh, we're gonna play a little game. Oh, it's like a betting thing. Whoever gets a bet gets a little prize. No, everyone has to get the same fucking number. What kind of game is this? And then we argue about it until we get it? This is not poker. What kind of poker game is this? It's Scrum Poker. It's some cheese dick, retarded, dumb crap that somebody just put on there. It's like, we're going to make it a fun game. And everyone has to play the exact same game, the exact same way. It's like, oh, god damn. Are you fucking serious? This is industry shit. This childish, bullshit, dumbass crap that you cannot question because it's industry standard, best practices. We started at the conference that cost us $20,000 to send the whole team to. Or their agile transformation that took a month and now the experts are gone and we have no stats and things aren't working. Everything's going. We're going back to how we did it before. Mean that shit? Jesus.
Scrum Poker is basically like a small game that you play that everyone rates the task on a number, and then after that you simply talk everyone together just to determine what's the final.
What does that number mean? Oh, it doesn't mean time. Don't you dare call time. Oh, but it really does mean time, doesn't it? Because look at the pound down shot. You said it was 16 points, and it took you 2 weeks. That means 1.6 points per day, and that'll be your new level you have to work at. So make sure you know all ahead of time. We basically let the lie because they're asking us to estimate something we don't have the full knowledge of. That's instantly technical debt. Instantly technical debt. The moment those things are uttered, they become technical debt. Time estimates are fantasies and pure technical debt. Now, in production line stuff, absolutely, you better dial that shit in. You better know exactly how each one task takes. You better know each producer, how much they're producing. Because that's what you have to do in a production process. If you don't do that, you will be out of business. But we're doing knowledge work. We're trying to figure out what to make the production line put out, not the production line. You guys are fucking... God damn it. I'm cussing and swearing. This stuff is so stupid. I can't believe people actually think this is serious. And the only reason is because he's so young, right? Maybe he hasn't seen my videos. Maybe he hasn't seen the things about Agile. Like, this is dumb. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's counterproductive. It makes people feel bad. It's get used as a bludgeon for management to think we got a handle on the process. We just squeeze off a couple points. We'll get that shit in there.
Number weight to the task you're giving. So that's pretty much it for the Scrum meeting, and then after that we would take a 1 hour break at 12 p.m. just to eat.
Everyone has to take a break at the exact same time. But what is this? Is this like, are we working in a factory, sir? These are factory rules. You know, knowledge work doesn't really happen like this. It never has. It never will. It's a lot of it's luck that you get it if you get it right. This is factory work. You are not working at a temp company. You're working at a bank factory.
The team, and after that we had our final code session for all the afternoon, so 3 hours straight most of the time, and that's pretty much like for the team.
Oh, you can't talk to anybody there. Yeah, I guarantee you it's not 4 to 3 hours straight. Look at all this. You're tired by this time. You're tired. You are exhausted. You're not doing any work here. You might get a little something done here. Read emails first. Fuck that. What are you doing? That's only because there might be an emergency. You have to get right on something. It's like, oh, Jesus H. Goddamn. Are you serious? This is how you're doing it? Wow. This is complete burnout mode.
Kind of ambience, so what kind of happened there in the team. Then after that, I'll talk about what happens to each developer individually. So what would happen is basically each developer would have his personal branch. So a branch is basically like a way to store code that is divided from another code base from someone else. So everyone could have access, let's say, to the Facebook let's say Facebook was open source, so the code was public, they could have access to all the Facebook code, but each person on his own individual machine has access to a different variation. And when that variation is validated, you can then push it upstream to the main branch and basically decide like, okay, so I'm sending it there and the code is alright, it runs, so we don't need to keep it on local only right now, we can push it for everyone. So this would happen, and each dev would have his branch, would run code on it. Once a feature has been developed, what he would do is create a pull request. So a pull request is basically a request you're sending to the Git branch to say, okay, I want to merge my branch called, I don't know, TO to the main branch, which is dev, for the development environment. So
these are for this is not continuous delivery. This is trust. You have to. This is like untrustworthy stuff. So instead of using feature flags, which is like the way people should be doing it now, I'm doing all this stuff into production. You're not doing this pull requests back and forth. Okay, the person pull request accepted. So there's this whole back and forth that happens in these things. It's like you should be talking about that stuff. You shouldn't be doing this back and forth. More than one back forth. Like here's one thing, and then there's a thing, and if it goes back one, that should be an online real-time conversation, not this back, and you're arguing about stuff in the PR comments. Come on, you guys. And this is considered best practice as well. This continues. This is because they don't trust this guy. They don't trust this guy to do the job that they actually hired him to do. This is a I don't trust you. Because if it was a feature flag, it wouldn't have to do this pull request stuff. You just push it in the thing and then have it run. But this is because I don't have enough things in the safeguards. I haven't trained my people enough, or I don't know to be able to trust them to push this stuff into production on their own. That's industry standard.
Those
It's definitely not adventure driven. It's not adventure. We're pushing that stuff up there, and we're gonna find out right away if it's fucked up or not. This is this bank stuff. How they're doing this stuff is so archaic. It's unbelievable that they're continuously doing this still.
Those pull requests would usually need to be approved by at least 2 reviewer. Those reviewer are usually the tech lead and one dev, just to make sure that the code runs, the code is well formatted and everything.
Why don't you guys just sit next to each other and just do it together until you trust each other enough that we can just do it on your own? Or, okay, maybe you have a little look-see after it's in production and working, and flip the feature flag. Maybe do it then. I mean, do people actually download with these PRs with the branch? Do they actually go down the branch and then run the application, or are they just looking at the code? Looking at the code, you can't tell all the problems it can have without running it. It is way too complicated. And everybody I know is just all they basically look it up on GitHub. They don't even check out the code. Let's go look at the thing. Oh.
This was our coding process. So what would happen if the pull request is not accepted? Basically, you would go there and you would read basically what the comments are on the pull request, so what needs to be fixed and everything. This is the tech lead who would drop comments on everything, on how to fix it, or basically what to check again. And then you would go back to coding in your branch and then redo the cycle. So
at least that's asynchronous. Everything else, like some of this stuff should be synchronous. Like this stuff right here should be synchronous. This acceptance approval thing really should be a synchronous thing. That shouldn't be an async thing, because we can get that back and forth. There's a delay. We're not coding. When we do the PR, we're not coding until we're done. We're finished. We're actually, because it's a sprint based thing, we're just gonna sit there and fucking fuck off and play video games, waiting for your ass to come on. I'm done with my shit. Waiting. Do 2 days, 3 days, sometimes weeks goes by. Yeah, if you had even if somebody's having a bad time or they're doing something else, you could ask 16 times, hey, about that PR. Hey, do you think you take that PR? And instead of syncing up directly, it's like, oh, I'll review it. Instead of like, oh, if you've been waiting 4 days, maybe I should do a sync with you right now that we're talking and get this thing done so we can get it over with and move on to the next thing. Now, massive amounts of inefficiencies. This is industry standard. This is like common practice. And people wonder why it takes so long to make the software. It's that shit. It's because this is run as if it's a production process, and that the things that are important are not priorities to be synced, and the things that aren't important are priorities to be synced. So the Scrum Scrum meeting stand up, that should be async, but this shit right here should be synchronous, because come on now, am I talking out of my ass? This
ask for a pull request. If you're not approved yet, you just go back to code, you push in your personal branch, pull request, and everything. Once it's accepted, so basically all your code is well formatted, the tech lead has approved it. What you want to do is basically this will automatically start a build process on our Azure pipeline. So Azure is the Microsoft basically.
Okay, so they're fucking up that part too. This should be back here. When after you push the code, it like passes all through this stuff, then you'd look for the PR, not after. No wonder this stuff is so fucked up.
Cloud server.
No wonder the software is all buggy and full of holes. Errors out all the damn time. Error messages are pointless. They don't mean anything. Don't think about trying to get tech support on phone. Oh, hell no. Yeah, 6 hours before that'll happen. It's so bad.
Which allows us to basically, like Docker, allows us to run pipelines. So a pipeline is basically like a series of tasks that the server will run just before you deploy, just to make sure everything's all right. So we had 20 steps in this.
That's supposed to happen back here, buddy. Not over here. I don't know shit. Now you can see their build process is screwy.
Build process. We had a lot of security validation since the code is like very financial related. We want to make sure everything is securized and everything. And then we had code
seized,
guidelines.
Secularized? What is that? What are you talking about? Dude, you guys get hacked all the damn time. So your security shit ain't working. You guys get hacked all the damn time.
Validation. So we had softwares like SonarQube, which is basically like a code guideline and security scanning tool. So basically each pipeline deployment would take about 5 minutes to deploy.
Again, this should be done by people. Yes, you can have an AI tool look at it, but this really has to be human reviewed. This is where because anywhere the security is going to show up, that stuff, don't you think they're going to run it through that thing to make sure it doesn't see it? Holy crap, my God.
Just because there was so much to do. But this is really like at the last time, so you don't waste time every time your pull request is not accepted to do this process. So basically, after that, what would happen is when the build is fast.
That's the other thing, too. Why are your tests taking so long to run? Do you really need to run all that shit? I don't know, man. There's some things that are screwed up here. I can see right away.
All right. So if one step of that is not approved, you need to recheck the old pipeline again to take a look where it broke. What will happen after is you will have a deployment that is pushed to dev, so merged to the dev branch, which is basically the branch that everyone who codes will pull initially to basically modify after in their own branch. So everyone will go from there. And then after that, what will happen is we will basically tell the guy who talks to the client. So the client success manager will tell the accountant, in our case, so the person with the domain knowledge. So we have the technical knowledge in our team, but someone knows the domain knowledge. So this is all financial stuff that we don't know, like mathematics and like dollar.
You can learn that shit, man. The fact that they keep this stuff siloed is definitely not adventure driven. And the fact that they're keeping it siloed from these guys who are running and working on the code, dude. Are you fucking serious, kid? This is how they're running these companies? This stuff is so ripe for takeover. So ripe for complete dissolution. Holy crap.
Terms, and we would pass that to him, show him how it works, what he can do and whatever, and he would validate basically if it's the feature he wanted and everything. If it's not,
yeah, that should have been happening way back when the code was doing that, when it's happening, way back there. This should have been happening the whole damn time. In adventure driven, it's happening the whole damn time.
Validated. What would happen is basically you go back and fix the feature you wanted. You go back to code and in your personal branch, pull request and everything, all this loop again. If it's validated, what you will do is basically go to yes, and then after that, what will happen is the code is going to be ready to put in production. All that happens is basically you have a deployment team. So in our case, it was a
deployment team. Fuck. You can't just push it to a server, put it in production. Yeah. So this is definitely not agile anymore. This is everyone's checking each other's things, and things are going wrong even then. Fuck. It's absolutely insane. Definitely this vibe. Pin down my Charlie.
Deployment team that would do this at night. So basically they would log off from work at like 2 p.m. And would come back at like 6 p.m. till like 3 in the morning just to like make sure the deployment is right, because in the day.
Oh my God. Oh, that won't fuck up your sleep. That's a long-term success strategy. These people are burning. Oh my God, this stuff is so ripe for disruption. Are you fucking kidding me?
People are working in the financial sector on those servers and database, so like you cannot interact with them in production. So I need to make this at night.
You can't? Really? You know what? I think you can, sir. I think you can interact with them in production. They would have a level of trust that would only be available at an organization that you're not working at that's set up like this. But you can. That's a. Where do you say that you can't act with in production? Where did that come from?
Night to make sure it doesn't break for the people the next day. So they would have a deployment team at night doing this. And once the build
See, they didn't even build the system to be testable in production. Absolutely. How these people survive this long is really incredible.
is passed and everything, it's in production, you have your happy clients, which is the end goal in this.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like the old process. And after that, like, there's so many things I'm not covering because it would be too long, but databases have also branches and everything. So it's a really complicated process, but this is like a quick overlook of what it might be like if you're looking to go into bigger companies, everything. So I hope it clarified.
It definitely that is what it's like, sir. You are correct. This is what it's like. It's a complete clusterfuck.
The process. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in comments, and I'll make sure to answer you as soon as possible. See you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe, like, and if you're looking to get into those bigger companies, make sure to start going and checking my other videos on how you can.
I'm gonna give him a like and subscribe just because I want to reply and have him see my replies, and because this is I know in his heart this is not what he wants to do. But I respect the game. I respect the game if he's doing this. If he's down here and doing these junior projects and just see what this shit's like, legit cool. But the fact that he brought up the fact that he's like a superhero means he's got the adventure. He's got the adventure inside himself. And he's got to let go of some of these things like, we can't do this. We can't. Oh, yes, you can. This is all software. This is all completely up for grabs. There was a time when we didn't do it and we were working with it. So all this stuff, extra stuff, is some of it's necessary, some of it's not. Some of it can be deleted, some of it needs to add later. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant. And give me a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.